Clutch down. Here we go, let's give it a go. Hello, welcome back to Serious About Salvage, another video on the channel. Today is an important day. We're going to see if the Fiesta ST runs. You'll have seen the videos by now. This has had a good whack. The engine's been off its engine mounts. Yeah, various things going on. Damage to the aircon pump. I've actually just realised there's a crack in the sump as well. Yeah, there's a lot going on with this car. The oil filter was smashed to hell, the oil cooler was smashed. I mean, if this engine runs, it's going to be a miracle. But we've done all we can. We tested it by turning it over by hand. It had oil in when it turned up, a little bit low, but it had oil in it. So, fingers crossed, we had to take the risk and get some keys. We've done the engine mounts, and now is the time to check if this car runs. I'm going to spin you around, I think. So, the key man has been. I wasn't here, so he's been in. He's programmed 2 keys to it. He said the ignition comes on, but he hasn't tried to start it because he doesn't want to be responsible for any damage, which I totally get. You'll already know this is my key man. He comes out to me, reprograms keys when I buy them with no keys. Really good, really helpful, always sorts me out. So yes, we have 2 keys. We have a key over here. That's one, and I believe one is in the car. So I mean, there's nothing else we can check here. We're just gonna have to get in and try it. And get ready to turn it off if it doesn't sound good or if it even starts. Yes, it's leaking a little bit of oil from the crack in the sump, but there's still plenty in it. I've checked it. Let's just go in and try it. I think it's just a case of giving it a go. So yeah, don't forget we have no exhaust on the car, so it's going to be loud if it starts. Oh, is this seat not going any further back than that? Surely it should. So I feel like I'm... Alright, that's it. Right, that's better. Yes, got it. So, ignition, there it is, there's the key. You have to excuse the dirtiness of it in here. I haven't got around to cleaning it yet. Voila, yeah, we've got lights. Now we're going to have obviously a series of dashboard lights on. We know that. Clutch down. Here we go. Let's give it a go. It's fairly loud. It's idling well, to be fair. Sounds safe with no exhaust on. I'm gonna have to be quick here, there's no coolant in it. Yeah, it feels like it's idling quite well actually. That's gonna be it. What a noise. Wow. Yeah. I mean, we keep getting lucky with these Fiesta STs. This is number 4. All stolen, recovered, no keys. And they've all run. And only one of them we had running issues with, and that was that black one where we had to put the ECU in. This one sounds fine. This sounds fine. So I'm happy with that, actually. So yeah, I think it's worth us carrying on now. I can't run it anymore, really, with no coolant system on it. So I suppose the next step's going to be, I mean, we can make it run and drive, because I've got a few more bits. I'll tell you what, bear with me 1 minute, I'll just get them out of my car and I'll show you. Okay, I've got them out now. Right, so yeah, like I said, we can get this thing running and driving now because I've got the subframe, I've got the steering rack, and I've also got the aircon pump. We don't need the aircon pump obviously to make it run, but these two items, the rack's got the rack end on it on both sides, so they'll be okay because one of ours is bent, so we can get the steering somewhere straight. And then yeah, it'll run and drive. Whilst it's in bits, I'm going to see if I can put that shaft back together because there's nothing missing, it's just popped out. Excuse me, I have to excuse my cough. But I do need 2 CV boots, it's whether I can get them. So we might as well do them whilst everything's detached, mightn't we? So just before we start working, I just want to go through a few costings with you, because there's a few people showing a bit of concern that it's just not worth fixing, or these parts are going to accumulate to thousands and thousands. Now obviously, if this was done by an insurance approved garage or body shop, then yeah, definitely thousands and thousands, which is why it was written off, obviously, definitely. But I'm just Joe Bloggs down the road, and I can use second-hand parts. And like I've always said from the beginning, I'm not trying to make these cars as good as new. I'm trying to put them back to as good as, if not better, the condition they were when they were crashed. And it is a 8-year-old vehicle, so it's not going to be perfect. So the prices of the parts so far, obviously we know the car was $18.50. Obviously there's some fees on that and delivery. Just call it $22.50 for them two. Obviously got the keys, but then when we get to the parts for the car, like I said, parts are not expensive for these. The complete dashboard kit, which is, it's a push button dashboard as well, so it's the right one. Knee airbag, passenger airbag, yes, it's a bit mouldy, it needs a wipe down, I can sort that out. 2 seat belts and airbag ECU. The whole lot's £160. The only other thing we need is a steering wheel, and the interior is finished, barring a good clean. The front panel, again, correct one for the car with all the ducting, under tray, that bit there, intercooler, aircon rad, radiator, blah blah blah. 140. So that bolts onto the front, and other than our water pipes, aircon pipes, intake pipes, that's the coolant system finished. So we've only got 300 between them two, and then these 3 parts that I've just got today, the subframe, aircon pump and steering rack, all 3 only cost me £100. Now obviously that is a very good deal, don't get me wrong, you won't get them for that price on eBay, but there's a guy only 5 miles away, he's always broke Fords, and he has all these on shelf, so you go in, and because there's no eBay fees or anything, you can get right bargains. So I'm really happy with £100 for them 3 is really good, don't get me wrong, but like I said, that's only £400 in parts plus the keys. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of other bits that we put on. We put the oil cooler on, engine mounts, I mean, about £100 in parts there. But parts are not expensive. The main part on this car is the front bumper. You'll pay for a good one with all the grills and stuff, you'll pay 400 quid for that. Our headlights are fine, yeah, bonnet needs a repair. We'll be okay with this car, but there's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, it's content for my videos, so I've got to think about that as well. Anyway, we haven't done anything today so far, so let's get on with it. What we're going to do is we're going to get this car up, we're going to get the cradle off, that's going to bring the steering rack with it, and then we have to take both control arms off this, put them onto our new cradle with our new steering rack, and then that all back up. And then in between them 2 jobs, we're going to try and deal with the drive shaft. So let's crack on with that. Okay, so I'm pretty much ready now to drop this subframe. I've got, well, I had to cut that bolt to be fair, but that bolt's out. That bolt's out. This one's undone. And then obviously the other side is undone as well, just loose. I've done the drop links. I mean, yeah, I've done drop links. I've done the track ends. So it's just them two big bolts and it'll all come down. So I've got the trolley underneath because I'm not going to be able to undo it and take the weight of it. So let's sit it on, see what happens. Get it a bit close. Need to make sure I can get to the bolts. Which I can do there, yeah. Well, actually that's going to work quite well, I think. Yeah, that's done that. Let's get a... let's just do this on camera. Let's see if we can do it. It's an 18. See if it was that one. Yeah. Back out this one. And then same on the other side. And that should now just stay on. Fingers crossed. No, it didn't. I don't know what's holding it. Oh, I know what's holding it. I think, is there a bolt through the bottom of the steering column where it attaches to the rack? There will be, won't there, to hold them two together. Yeah, let me just try and figure that out, find out why it's not loose, and I'll come back to you. Yeah, there we go. So it was just that little groove there. There's a bolt that goes through there on the inside, and then that lets the rack come down with it then. So we need to swap over the anti-roll bar, all that with the drop links onto our replacement. And we need these control arms, scabby as hell, aren't they, them? I'm debating whether getting a pair of control arms for it. I mean, they feel fine. The bushings all feel fine. It's just, it looks a bit scabby. Yeah, I'm going to think about that for a little bit. What we can do, we can swap over the anti-roll bar. We'll get the new replacement steering rack bolted to the replacement subframe, and we still need to look at these shafts as well. So what I'll do is I'll check up on price of a pair of I know what I'm thinking, I'm just not saying it. A pair of control arms. And if they're not a great deal of money, then I might put a pair on it. But yeah, we'll do what we can for now. Right, it's actually a few days later now. I made some decisions and it put it on hold for a few days, shall we say. I decided I did want new control arms, so we have got a pair of control arms down in that box. They came with a pair of drop links as well, so we might swap them over. We've got our sump, because we need to change the sump, but I also decided I can't go with a D-cat. I had a good read up. It will not pass emissions, there's no chance. So it's going to have a cat, so here it is. Just a standard genuine cat off a breaker. So we can throw that up. And I've also got driver side drive shaft. I don't know if I mentioned, but there's nothing much I can do with this one because it's got a bit broken there. And there's a crack in this race as well. I mean, you can probably change the spider on the end, but I had a good look everywhere. I just couldn't find any parts really for the drive shaft. So yeah, I decided because I was going to do all this, I might as well leave the subframe down. Gives us so much room now to get that downpipe back in, the catty back in, and we can work on this drive shaft as well and get that swapped over. So that's kind of the plan right now. Get that downpipe back up, put the shaft in, do anything else we need to do behind here, and then we'll get that subframe back up. So yeah, a hell of a lot of parts going into this car, hell of a lot of parts, loads of parts for the front. And yes, unfortunately some of these parts are expensive. I think the cat was $175. I'm kind of hoping I'm going to get the majority of that back from recycling the old cat. The drive shaft was £215 second hand. So yeah, that's took a bit of a lump out of what would have been profits, but hey, this is it, this is the game, innit? So yeah, I think I'll get you on a stand and we'll get this cat up. Try and get some of this back together, because yeah, it causes a lot of problems having a car stuck on the ramp for me. It's like today I wanted to do the oil change on this. The Renegade is finished, but long story short, the video footage, I lost it. Like yeah, I lost it, so there's no video really for it. But yeah, I've just finished it, and I had to do the oil change on the floor, which was a pain because obviously you've got to take the underpan off and stuff. Which like I said, I need this ramp free, so I want to try and get this moving, shall we say. Now it runs, get it to drive. So yeah, let's just crack on. Let's stand up, get this cat in, and do a few more bits. Right, a bit of progress to update you on. So I've been under and I've done the downpipe and the drive shaft. I didn't set a camera up because it's a bit dark under here. You probably won't see anything. So they're in. That's done. Even the bracket for the downpipe is on. So that proves it's all in the right place now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get this subframe up and I'm going to do the sump after, because I want to get it movable, shall we say. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the subframe next. There's nothing else really up there we need to mess with other than the boost control valve. I snapped off and I've got one on order, it's just not come yet. So first of all, before we put it up, I might as well put on these new control arms, and I'll have a look at the drop links as well, and perhaps we'll just swap them over so it's got new drop links. So I'll put your camera up now, we'll put the control arms in, maybe the drop links, and then we'll get the old cradle up, get the subframe up. Alrighty then, so there it is, the subframe is back up. So we've got the new control arms on as well. I also went and put the new drop link on. I thought I might as well, we've got them, and the others did feel a little bit worn. Other side isn't done because we need to pull that shaft, but the braces are on. I've connected back up the exhaust brace. Drive shaft is in. The big drive shaft is in, done. So yeah, the next point is to pull this drive shaft because I need to fix this boot. Now I think it's got damage to it. Suppose it's worth looking first, see if it only needs the metal thing putting back on. How am I going to? Should turn really. It will with two hands. Let me just have a look at this. So we may not have to pull it to put the boot on if the boot's not damaged. I didn't really check properly. I only saw the other one on the other side, which we haven't used either, because we replaced the shaft, didn't we? So let's have a little look at this boot. That's weird. It's actually not damaged. It's possibly the only part. Let's clean it a bit. Oh yeah, there's a little split there. Yeah, there's a tiny split in it. So we're going to have to change it. So we might as well do it now whilst like I said, the bottom ball joint is still split. So yeah, that's the next job. Let's crack on. Alright, so we've got our drive shaft. There's a hole there, there's another little bit of a hole somewhere. So I think it's easy if we just cut it off, I think. That's what I'm thinking. That's minging. I mean, there's loads of CV grease in it, that's for sure. So yeah, I've got this little CV boot stretcher, which we're going to try out. See what it does. Let's have a look. That's not that good. That's crap. Let me have a look at that. Well, it flew off, didn't it? I didn't stretch it right well either. It's going to be a right messy job, this. don't really want to strip it, you see. I mean, you're going to have to give me a few minutes. This isn't turning into the easy job I thought it was going to be. I'll try and get that CV boot stretched and over. Christ, that was a pain in the backside. I'm telling you, that is a hunk of junk. I mean, as soon as you start putting any pressure on these forks to expand it, the boot just goes bloody flying. It wants some hooks on the end, just a little hook, to stop the boot coming back off. It's either that or the boot was just too strong for it. I mean, this is a cheap one, in all fairness. It was like 50 quid, maybe. Yeah, about £50. But it was a waste, to tell you that. As you would have seen on the camera, I'd split the joint. Yeah, it was just a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Grease everywhere. All my tools are covered in grease. Yeah, disgusting job. Hopefully I don't have to do another one. Anyway, it's back together. The shaft is back in. Drop links on this side, done. Track red end. All the suspension is finished with. So if we put wheels on it, it would sit perfectly fine. And drive. But I'm thinking, to finish off this video now, we've done quite a lot in this video really, haven't we? To finish off this video, let's get this sump swapped over, because it's just continuously leaking all the time. Let's raise it up a bit. I have showed you where it's leaking from before, but I'll show you again. There's a crack all the way down there. So it's just constantly dripping from it. So I think that'll be a good idea, because we're going to obviously put new oil in it. So we'll drain the oil, drop this sump, and put our replacement up. And then that'll do us for today, I think, for this video. But we're getting there. We've done the major parts now, the hard parts, the difficult bits. It should all be pretty much plain sailing once we've got this sump swapped over. So again, I'll get you on a stand, try and show you a bit of what I'm doing. It's just a case of taking out all the bolts all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 bolts, and then obviously take this, well, that bracket doesn't need to come off, it's snapped off, this one. But we'll need the nuts maybe, the studs. Right, yeah, let's get on with that. Then it stops the thing leaking. Okay, so that came off quite easy. So once it's down, before you put your new one up, you want to make sure that your mating surface is clean. Now I've scraped most of it off. I use a Stanley blade, and I've just left a little bit there. So I'll just show you, just put it flat against the metal, and then just slide it across.
That's it. Now it's never going to be perfect, as long as you get all the big chunks off. Just like that, slide it across. It'll be alright, the new one will stick to it. So then on the new one, we obviously have to replace that seal, because you can't just butt metal to metal, there'll be imperfections and it won't join properly. So this is obviously our old one. We can see the crack there actually now. There's a crack there. Can you see it inside? Yeah. Yeah, it's cracked all along there. Anyway, that's the old one. This is our new one. They've cleaned it up for us where we bought it from. That's nice of them. And this is the instant gasket that you use. High temp, black instant gasket. So just a trigger. All I'm going to do is follow the circumference of it, not including this part or that part, obviously. I'll try and do this, or at least start it. So something like, oh, not that much. Something like that. And obviously just make sure you go round the holes as well. I can't do this with one hand unfortunately, so I'm going to put the camera down, and when it's done I'll come back and we'll throw it up. Okay, so let's see if I can show you. All the way around the holes as well. Let's get a couple of fixings to hold it up. And then I'm just going to put it into position. And hand wind 2 fixings in just to hold it. Oh, I can't reach what I want now. I want to get it somewhere near because I don't want it to drop down onto the bolt heads and put that instant gasket everywhere. So if I just nip up them two, just enough to hold it up clean up against it, and now I'll get the rest in loose, tighten everything up, and that'll be our sump done. Just the reverse of what I've just done, and yeah, we'll be there, we'll be done. Right, there we go, sump is back up. So yeah, we've come a long way in this video. We do have, in theory, a running and driving Fiesta ST now. We got it running right at the beginning. We've done all the undercarriage, suspension, subframe, steering rack, downpipe, engine mounts, drive shaft, sump. A lot of stuff we've done in this video. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm quite happy with the progress. Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of parts going into this car. But like I say all the time, you don't know what you're going to get until it turns up. So yeah, it runs, that's the main thing. So hopefully now, in the next video, we can get the front panel on, get the coolant in it, and let it run for a bit and see what it's like. Put some wheels on and make sure it runs and drives. But yeah, for this one, that's going to be it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I feel absolutely minging after doing that drive shaft. I think I've got grease all over me. Yeah, thanks for watching, massively appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed it. Big thumbs up if you have. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll be notified of all future videos. Yes, thanks for watching.
Cheers.